Before the fight officially begins, before the bell cuts through the noise and the first punch changes everything, there's a moment that quietly takes control of the entire arena. The ring walk. That razor-thin line between preparation and reality, where a fighter leaves behind the safety of the locker room and steps into something far more unforgiving. And when Daniel Dubois begins that walk to face Fabio Wardley, it doesn't feel routine, it feels heavy. The shift is instant. The lights dim, the music rises, and suddenly every eye is locked onto that one narrow path. The noise builds, but underneath it is something deeper: tension, expectation, a sense that what's about to unfold isn't just another fight, but a moment with real consequences. This isn't just about stepping into a ring. It's about stepping into pressure, into doubt, into a situation where everything you've prepared for is about to be tested in front of the world. Dubois doesn't just walk. He carries that weight with him. Every step feels deliberate, like he understands exactly what's on the line. The atmosphere around him tightens, the crowd feeding into the moment, amplifying it, turning a simple entrance into something almost overwhelming. You can feel it in the air, that mix of anticipation and uncertainty that makes boxing so unpredictable. Because this is the moment where everything changes. Training camps, game plans, strategy sessions, they all belong to the past now. What lies ahead is real, immediate, and impossible to control completely. And as Dubois moves closer to the ring, the distance between preparation and performance disappears, replaced by a single, unavoidable truth. There's no going back. And that's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not just the start of a fight, it's the beginning of something that could define everything that comes next. As the arena lights begin to shift and the entrance music starts to rise, the change isn't gradual, it's instant. 1 second there's noise, movement, distraction, and the next, everything snaps into focus. Conversations die, heads turn, and every single eye in the building locks onto the entrance. It's like the entire arena is pulled in one direction by an invisible force. And that's where the walkout becomes something far bigger than tradition. In that moment, the crowd stops being thousands of separate people and becomes one unified presence, breathing together, reacting together, waiting together. The music pounds through the arena like a heartbeat, the lights cut through the darkness, and anticipation builds so fast it almost feels overwhelming. It's not just excitement anymore, it's tension, thick and electric, spreading through every corner of the venue. For the fighter, this is where reality hits hardest. Because that wall of energy isn't just noise, it's pressure. It's expectation. It's thousands of people watching, judging, believing, doubting all at once. Every step forward pulls them deeper into that intensity, deeper into a moment that can't be slowed down or controlled. And yet, at the same time, it fuels them. It sharpens them. It forces them to rise. That's the power of this shared experience. It connects fighter and audience in real time, creating a feedback loop where every movement gets a reaction, and every reaction raises the stakes. The walkout becomes more than an entrance, it becomes a collision between emotion and reality, where the energy of the crowd and the mindset of the fighter merge into something explosive. Because by the time they reach the ring, one thing is already clear. This isn't just a fight anymore. It's an event everyone inside that arena is now a part of. Dubois' presence during the walkout doesn't feel accidental, it feels constructed. Every step is controlled, every movement deliberate, like he's already locked into the fight long before he reaches the ring. There's no wasted energy, no distraction, no hint of hesitation. It's the kind of composure that doesn't just suggest confidence, it suggests a fighter who has already accepted what's coming and is prepared to meet it head-on. In an environment designed to overwhelm. Blinding lights, deafening noise, thousands of eyes watching his every move, Dubois looks grounded, almost unaffected. And that's what makes it powerful. Because staying composed in that kind of pressure isn't easy. It requires a level of mental discipline that goes beyond physical training, a mindset that can filter out chaos and stay locked on a single objective. You can see it in the details. The steady pace. The fixed expression. The way his focus never drifts. It all points to a fighter who isn't getting carried away by the moment, but instead is containing it, controlling his emotions rather than letting them control him. And in a sport where one lapse in focus can change everything, that kind of mental stability becomes a serious advantage. Because the walkout isn't just about entering the arena, it's about showing your opponent, and everyone watching, exactly where you stand mentally. And Dubois, in that moment, looks like a fighter who isn't just ready for the pressure, but fully in control of it. At the same time, there's something simmering beneath that calm and intensity that doesn't need to be loud to be felt. Dubois isn't just composed, he's coiled, like everything is being held in check for the exact moment it needs to be released. It's in the way he carries himself, the quiet tension in his movements, the sense that he's not just walking toward the ring, he's preparing to ignite the second it matters. That contrast is what makes it so compelling. On the surface, you see control. Measured steps, a steady gaze, complete discipline. But underneath, there's readiness. A fighter who isn't just calm, but dangerous in that calm. Because when intensity is hidden like that, when it's controlled instead of chaotic, it becomes far more unpredictable. You don't know when it's going to show, how it's going to explode, or what it's going to look like once it does. And that uncertainty adds a different kind of tension to the moment. The crowd can feel it, even if they can't fully explain it. There's an edge to the atmosphere, a sense that something is building just beneath the surface. It's not revealed, not obvious, but it's there, waiting. And that's what gives the walkout its power in this moment. It doesn't show you everything. It promises something. Because when a fighter carries both calm and intensity at the same time, it creates a feeling that what's coming next won't just be controlled. It'll be explosive. The crowd doesn't just respond, they elevate the moment into something far bigger than one fighter making a walk. What starts as noise quickly becomes a force, a surge of energy that fills every corner of the arena and presses down on the scene with real weight. Chants build, reactions ripple, and suddenly the walkout isn't just about Dubois anymore, it feels like the entire building is part of it. That's the power of a live crowd. Their energy amplifies everything. A single step gets a reaction. A glance sparks a roar. Every small movement is magnified, fed back into the atmosphere, and returned even stronger. It creates this loop where the fighter fuels the crowd, and the crowd fuels the fighter, pushing the intensity higher and higher with every passing second. And in that exchange, the moment becomes something else entirely. It's no longer just an entrance. It's an experience that feels shared, almost collective, where emotion spreads instantly and tension becomes impossible to ignore. The fighter can feel it, whether they show it or not. That pressure, that energy, that expectation, it all adds weight to every step closer to the ring. Because in moments like this, the crowd isn't just watching from the outside. They're part of what's building inside it. As Dubois continues his approach toward the ring, that invisible line between preparation and reality starts to disappear. Every step closes the gap, not just physically, but mentally, pulling him closer to the moment where everything he's worked for will be tested under unforgiving conditions. The walk slows time down in a strange way, stretching each second, making every movement feel heavier, more significant. You can feel the anticipation tightening with each step. The crowd senses it, the atmosphere sharpens, and the noise begins to carry a different edge, less celebration, more expectation. This is no longer just about the spectacle, it's about the inevitability of what's coming next. There's no pause button, no reset. The closer he gets, the more real it becomes. And for Dubois, this is where focus has to be absolute. Because once the distance is gone, once he steps through the ropes, everything shifts. The preparation phase is over. The thinking, the planning, the rehearsing, it all gives way to instinct, reaction, and execution. What was once controlled becomes unpredictable, and what was imagined becomes real. That's why this progression feels so powerful. It doesn't rush, it builds, step by step, drawing everyone into the moment and forcing them to feel the weight of it. Because by the time he reaches the ring, there's no separation left between what was planned and what's about to happen. There's only the fight. There's a psychological battle already unfolding in this moment, even if no punches have been thrown. The walkout is where fighters begin to shape perception, not just for the crowd, but for the opponent waiting inside the ring. It's a silent exchange, built on body language, eye contact, and presence. And at this level, those details aren't accidental, they're calculated. Dubois isn't just walking forward, he's projecting. Composure signals control. Measured steps suggest confidence. A fixed, unwavering focus sends a message that he's mentally locked in and ready for whatever comes next. And for the opponent watching, those signals matter more than most people realize. Because before the physical battle begins, there's always a mental one trying to gain ground. This is where small things can have real consequences. A fighter who looks unshaken can plant doubt. A fighter who carries intensity can create hesitation. And even the slightest shift in mindset. Something as subtle as a second of uncertainty can echo into the early moments of the fight. At this level, where reactions are measured in fractions of a second, that psychological edge can quietly influence how exchanges unfold. What makes it powerful is how understated it is. Nothing is said out loud, nothing is officially declared, but the message is still delivered. The walkout becomes a form of communication, a way of setting the tone before the bell ever rings. Because by the time the fight starts, the physical action is just one part of the story. The mental battle has already begun. The visual side of the walkout does more than decorate the moment, it intensifies it. The shifting lights, the shadows moving across the arena, the flashes from phones in the crowd, it all comes together to create a scene that feels almost cinematic, but with an edge of unpredictability you can't script. 1 second everything looks controlled and perfectly staged, and the next it feels alive, shifting, reacting in real time. That contrast is what makes it so powerful. There's structure in the presentation, the timing of the music, the choreography of the lights, the clear path to the ring, but surrounding it is chaos. The crowd moves, reacts, surges with emotion. No two reactions are the same, no moment unfolds exactly as planned. And that blend of control and unpredictability mirrors the fight itself, prepared, yet uncertain. For Dubois, this environment isn't just a backdrop, it's something he has to move through. Every flicker of light, every wave of movement in the crowd adds to the intensity, making the moment feel bigger, heavier, more real. It's not just a walk anymore, it's an immersion into a space where everything is heightened. And that's why it resonates. Because visually, it tells a story before the fight even begins. It builds tension, creates scale, and pulls everyone watching deeper into the moment. It transforms what could be a simple transition into something layered. Something that feels structured enough to follow, yet unpredictable enough to keep you on edge. By the time it's over, you're not just watching a fighter enter the ring. You've already been pulled into the fight's atmosphere, whether you realized it or not. By the time Dubois reaches the ring, the atmosphere hasn't just built, it's boiling over. Every element has aligned, the roar of the crowd, the glare of the lights, the weight of the moment pressing in from all sides. It feels like the entire arena has been building toward this exact second, and now there's nowhere left for that energy to go. The focus is absolute. Thousands of people locked into one scene, one expectation, one unavoidable outcome. The noise doesn't just fill the space. It drives it, pushing the tension higher until it feels almost unbearable. Even the smallest movements inside the ring start to carry meaning, as if everything is being magnified under the pressure of what's about to happen. And that's when it hits, that sense of inevitability. Not anticipation anymore, but certainty. The feeling that all the buildup, all the preparation, all the emotion has led directly here, and there's no delay, no escape, no way to slow it down. The moment has arrived, whether anyone is ready or not. For Dubois, this is the final step. The last second before preparation disappears completely and reality takes over. The crowd feels it. The opponent feels it. And deep down, he feels it too. Because at this point, the fight isn't just about to begin. It has begun, in everything but the first punch. And in the end, what makes a walkout like this unforgettable isn't just the spectacle, it's the moment of transformation it captures. This is where everything changes. The training, the strategy, the controlled environment of preparation, all of it fades as the fighter steps into something real, something immediate, something that can't be rehearsed or taken back. It's a point of no return. Because once that walk is complete, there are no more adjustments outside the ring, no more planning in the background. What's left is instinct, pressure, and execution under the brightest lights possible. And somehow, the walkout manages to hold all of that in a single sequence. It carries the tension, the expectation, the quiet uncertainty of what's about to unfold. That's why it stays with people. Long after the fight is over, fans don't just remember the punches. They remember the feeling of that moment. The energy in the arena, the look on the fighter's face, the sense that something important was about to happen. It sets the emotional tone, framing everything that follows and shaping how the entire fight is experienced. Because the walkout isn't just an introduction. It's the beginning of the story where preparation ends, reality begins, and everything that follows is defined by what happens next.